So, you may be noticing how this is a pretty low effort video, and only a few of you guys will be able to see this. But for those who are able to see it, I have very bad news, man. My cat Lucy is dead. Well, or like passed away to be a little nicer. Last night, my mother came back home. She had very bad news. Lucy had cancer. Now, later on, thought, was this a really awful prank? But then a part of me says, no, this was real. After all, Lucy wasn't there. I went through the Kubler-Ross model of grief. I went through denial, somewhat, anger, because they wanted someone to blame, bargaining, saying stuff like, I'd trade anything to free her, and stuff like that. My cat Lucy lived up to 20 years old. I think in human years. She lived a pretty long life, almost as long as I, at least in human years. Probably I'll leave a few months off. Either way, I've gone through denial. I think that is, I denied, and it was no one's fault. Though, yes, they did euthanize her, but it was to end her pain. But I ask myself, now that she's passed on, does the pain continue? Or does it end right then and there? I'm sort of worried about that. Either way, like I said, I'll say this before and I'll say it again. I went through the Kubler-Ross model of grief. Though probably with a few extra steps. Let's see, a few extra steps. Let's see, denial, or I denied that it was no one's fault, technically. Anger, probably, though my father told me that's not part of the equation. But I sort of went through that, where I basically wanted to lash out. Bargaining, or like I said, I rather would suffer than her. And then depression. Now, I said that I went through it before the bargaining. Like, before I went to sleep, in this very bed that you see I shedded a few genuine tears. Like, it's not like that J-Station video where the crying was fake. Like, the crying that you see in the thumbnail, that was real. Like, genuinely real. You can see the tears on my eyes. The photo was taken after I learned the news. My mother clarified that, yeah, she was with my sister, but later on clarified that she was euthanized. Well, not my sister, my cat, obviously. It's just like what happened with my dog, Oi, a while back. But I got over that. But it feels... Let's see. But will it be the same with her gone? Is what I ask. I had this feeling in my stomach. But every cloud has a silver lining. Before her passing, as unnatural as it was, we actually adopted 2 cats, Honey Smacks and Fruit Loops, later renamed Saphir and Rari, respectively. Rari is my absolute favorite. Now, before her passing, I actually plucked a few hairs from my cat Lucy in hopes of cloning her in the future. I mean, it may not be a complete DNA set, but still. It's at least part of her. At least I still have a part of her forever. And I thought that would help me get to acceptance quickly. But no. I'm not even sure if I've accepted it. To be honest, when you've accepted death, it's almost as if that person never existed in the first place. And yet, they did at one point. It once existed. But yeah. My other 2 cats, Fury and Rory, they're still alive. They're very young. They're like 3 years old. At least human years. I declare them my children. We'll be right back.